Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me. This is Brandy Oswald, and today we're going to move through a core flow vinyasa practice. We'll open with some pranayama, some breath work to fire up through the belly to get us warm from the inside out, and then we'll move through our flowing sequence together. It'll take about 30 minutes and we'll close with a nice Shavasana practice at the end. So when you're ready, you can come into a comfortable seat and join us like this on your mats. You can sit up on a prop if that feels best. And when you're ready, you can just let your eyes come to close. We'll draw the shoulders down the back, opening up across the chest. We'll engage what's called Mula Bandha, root lock. It's a lifting, engaging of your pelvic floor muscles. And then up from there, we'll engage the low belly. This is called Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the lower belly in and up. And then from here, turning the awareness into the breath. We'll inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Finding that nice long, slow inhale and exhale. We'll be working with a style of breath called Ujjayi breath. There's a gentle constriction in the throat. There's an H sound to the sound of the breath. It's a bit aspirated. So we're pulling the air in through the nose and pressing the air out through the nose while the belly stays strong. And we'll move into our pranayama, our breath practice together from here. So when you're ready, we'll exhale the breath, empty all the way out, let it go. And together we'll inhale, nice long, slow inhale, filling all the way up. And a long, slow exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. With this next one, we'll fill all the way up with breath, filling up, and hold the breath in, holding full. And exhale, we'll empty out, holding the breath out. And we'll take that 2 more times. Inhale, fill all the way up, hold at the top. And exhale, hold empty. And we'll take that 1 more time. Inhale all the way up. Hold full. And exhale, hold empty. Three rounds of Ujjayi breath. We inhale, fill all the way up. And exhale, empty. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We'll move into now 2 rounds of Kapalabhati, breath of fire. It's inhale and exhale through the nose. The belly stays strong and we're punching out the exhale, really focusing on pushing that exhale out as the inhale becomes almost natural. It happens automatically. And breath of fire will build the heat in the body, firing us up. It'll start to work the abdominal muscles. With each exhalation, you'll feel the belly just pump in and out. So from here, we'll inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, palms face out. And then from here, we'll tuck the fingers in. And we'll take an exhale, emptying the breath all the way out, shoulders drawing down the back. We'll inhale to fill up, and we'll begin to punch out that exhale. Exhale, empty all the way out. We'll inhale, reach up through the fingers. And exhale, draw the hands down through heart center. Full round of breath here. Inhale, fill up. And exhale, empty. Taking that again, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, palms face out, fingers tuck in. Exhale, shoulders down the back. Inhale to fill up. And exhale to begin. Exhale, empty the breath all the way out. Inhale, reach up through the fingers. Exhale, draw hands down to heart center. One full round of breath here. Big inhale, filling up. And exhale to empty. From here, we'll make our way into tabletop position, hands and knees. And so as we come into hands and knees, we want the wrists to be just beneath the shoulders and the knees just beneath the hips. From here, engaging the low belly, pulling it in and up, engaging the pelvic floor nice and strong. On the next inhale, we'll begin to reach the right arm out in front of us and extend the left leg back nice and long. So we're reaching out through the fingertips as we flex that back foot, pressing back out of the sole of the foot. In option one, you can keep one long straight line, fingertips back through the foot, that leg and hip parallel to the floor, or like Ashley's doing if you wanted, you can work the glute a little bit further and lift that leg up a little bit higher. Just deciding what feels best for you. From here, we'll add in that core work. On an exhale, draw the knee and the elbow together, squeezing and pulling the belly in. And then we'll inhale, lengthen it out. Exhale, we'll draw in and inhale to lengthen out. And we'll take that 2 more times with your breath flowing nice and slow. Pull the belly in, feel the muscles activate, and inhale when you lengthen. And we'll take that 1 more time. Beautiful. And we'll inhale, lengthen out from here, holding nice and strong. We're reaching out through that right hand and back through that left foot. From here, we're going to draw the right hand down to the mat, spin the left toes back behind us, and sweep the left arm up into our side plank variation. Pulling in with the belly here, one long straight line on that top leg, pressing out through the sole of that foot. And then from here, we're going to squeeze the knee and the elbow together in our side plank variation. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to draw it in. We'll take that 1 more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw in, tuck and hold here. And then from here, that left leg will sweep around inside the right hand, right toes come onto the mat, and we sweep the arms up. We're in our low lunge. Beautiful, finding that nice deep breath here. Belly pulling in and up, we're tucking that tailbone under, and we're driving that right hip forward. We'll squeeze the arms in option to reach that gaze up towards the sky nice and long. Finding that nice deep breath. Nice. And then from here, we're going to exhale the hands down either side of that front foot. We'll step back into plank position, top of a push-up. And we're going to hold here. Shoulder blades squeezing together on the back side of the body, pressing out through the soles of the feet, the legs squeezing in towards each other, nice and strong. Beautiful. Finding that strong breath here, pulling in with the belly, all the muscles working together. And on an exhale, we'll lift the hips up and back towards our downward dog. And we use the low belly to control that movement, lifting the hips up, then back. And holding here for a few breaths in downward dog, really drawing length in the spine, pressing against the base of the palms to lift up through the hips and press them back behind you. That low belly nice and active. From here with an exhale, we're going to glide forward and take the knees and hover them just up above the mat. We're hovering a tabletop, so we're bending the knees. Beautiful. That tabletop position, but now lifted slightly. The legs hugging in towards each other. Beautiful. On an exhale, lift up and back, downward dog. We'll take that again, starting to come forward, hover the knees in that hovering tabletop. Nice. Belly pulling in, little tuck of the tailbone, protecting that low back. And then with your exhale this time, come all the way down, hands and knees, tabletop position. And we'll switch to side 2. Inhale, lengthen out left arm, right leg, coming into that balancing tabletop. And the muscle groups here that are working, other than arm and leg, is the belly squeezing in, pelvic floor nice and active, and a little tuck of the tailbone if you feel a pinch in your low back. The gaze can be straight down towards the mat. And then we'll add that flow, squeezing with the belly, draw knee and elbow together, hovering them above the mat. 3 times with your breath, inhale when you lengthen, and exhale to draw in. 2 more times, big, strong, intentional breaths. Nice. And we'll take that 1 more time. Beautiful. Inhale, we'll lengthen out here nice and long. Reaching out through the left fingers, extending back through that right leg, nice and long. And then from here, left fingers plant on the mat, left toes scoop back behind us, right leg stays lifted, right fingers reach up towards the sky. Finding that modified side plank, and we start to draw in knee and elbow together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and drop in. And we'll take that one more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop in, tuck and hold here. And then from there, right leg sweeps around. Inside that left hand, arms sweep up, right toes come back onto the mat. We're in that low lunge. Beautiful, finding that nice, strong, deep breath. And then from here, we're going to plant the hands down on either side of that front foot, and we'll step back towards the top of our push-up. Nice. And from here, we're going to lower down towards chaturanga, or knees and then chest. So I'll have Louisa take the knees and chest variation, and Ashley can lower down chaturanga variation. And we're going to hold here, see if you can find 3 breaths. Nice and strong, pulling that belly in, really working the core. Nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to send it all the way down onto our bellies. We're going to inhale, rise it up, cobra, halfway lift, belly pulls in, broaden in the chest. And then we'll exhale, glide it up and back into our downward dog. Beautiful. Nice deep breaths here. Again, using that low belly to lift the hips up, pressing against the base of the palms. Nice. From here, we'll take a few sun salutations to warm up and link breath and movement together. We're going to inhale, draw the belly in and up, lift up towards the tiptoes, towards the balls of the feet. So we're working with a really controlled movement as we make our way to the front of the mat. We're going to look up towards our thumbs and step our toes 2 steps closer to the hands. And like Luisa's doing, we're pulling those hips up really, really high, up towards the tips of the toes. Looking up towards the thumbs, we're going to tiptoe those feet in just a little bit further. And then when you feel like you're in as far as you can go with the feet, keep the hips lifted. See if you can press into the left hand and scoot your right foot up off the floor and tap the toes back behind that right wrist. It's a little tap, 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 tap. Oh, right foot will come down and we'll switch. Press into the right hand, lift the left foot, tap, tap, tap. Oh, they're making it look so easy. Tap, tap, tap. And then we'll bring the feet down. We'll come into our forward fold. You can bend in the knees slightly, maybe ragdoll, grabbing opposite elbow, swaying it out. Beautiful. And then from here, we'll release the hands down towards the floor. We'll inhale, extend out, halfway lift, lengthening in the spine. And we'll exhale to fold in. With our next inhale, we'll start to rise all the way up, reaching up, we'll look up. We'll come right into 2 rounds of Surya Namaskara, a sun salutation. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen and extend. Exhale, we'll plant the hands and step back. Option 1, lowering down through that plank push-up, or like Louisa showed us before, dropping knees and then chest. Inhale, we come down, we rise halfway cobra, or all the way upward dog. Exhale, tuck toes, lift hips, and we'll hold here, downward facing dog. In downward dog, the gaze is going back between the legs. We're tucking the chin slightly. We're really drawing length in that spine, the tailbone really rising up towards the sky. And if you have the flexibility, you can sink the shoulders through, but you can also keep really engaged through the upper back, using those shoulder muscles to support the posture. And we'll take that flow one more time. You can work with that tiptoe, really drawing in with the belly, start to tap those feet up towards the hands. If you want it, you can come into that tap, 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 just for fun. And then when you're ready, we find that forward fold. On the next inhalation, when you're ready, extend out, halfway lift, and exhale to fold in. And then from here, we'll inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up, reach up, look up. And exhale, fold right back down over the legs. We'll take that same sequence one more time. Inhale to extend. Exhale to plant the hands, step back, coming down through that plank transition, or knees and chest, chaturanga. We'll inhale to find upward dog, belly's really pulling in strong, pressing tops of feet down. Exhale, use that low belly to lift the hips up, then glide them back into that downward dog. Beautiful. And checking in here, Mula Bandha, pelvic floor nice and engaged, Uddiyana Bandha really drawing in. Beautiful. From this position, we're going to inhale, take the right leg up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. From here, you could bend the knee, let the hip fall open. Coming into what's called sways, we're going to take the right knee, draw it forward just behind the right elbow. And then from there, option to pull the knee up, tuck it behind the armpit, get it a little bit higher. Inhale, extend back up towards the sky. And exhale, hug the knee this time up towards the nose, curling that belly in. Inhale and extend. And exhale, draw that knee across towards the opposite elbow. And then maybe bring it up towards that opposite armpit, pull it in. Inhale, we'll extend all the way back up towards the sky. And then exhale again, hug that knee forward towards the nose, rounding out. And from here, let the right foot place down between the hands, arms sweep up into a high lunge. Beautiful, legs hugging in towards each other, that right knee stacked up above the right ankle, or maybe just back behind it, but not out in front. And then we check on the belly, pulling it in and up. And we can even draw length into the side body here, into the torso, by activating the arms and extending up towards the sky. So seeing here, if Ashley sinks down through those shoulders a little bit, let it fall, and then she can get long by drawing upwards. So stretching out the belly as it stays nice and active. Beautiful. From here, we're going to start to dive the chest forward and hover it just up over that right thigh, and the arms will come back behind us. So we're using the belly to pull in, keeping that chest lifted, and using the strength of that right leg. The arms can squeeze together towards one another back behind us, engaging those back muscles. Then from here, we're going to start to press weight into the right foot and see if you can start to lean forward, come up onto the tiptoe of the left foot. Belly really strong. See if you can float the left foot up parallel to the floor. Warrior 3 variation. Option to grab onto blocks. Option if you need to, you can keep a little bend in that standing leg. From here, we're going to come back down nice and slow, bend that right knee until those left toes come down and tap the mat. And then as soon as they tap, see if you can press it back up into that hover. And we'll take that 2 more times, working the strength of the legs, but using the belly for control. Nice. One more time wherever you are. Real control taps here using belly and pelvic floor. And then the next time that the left foot comes down, we'll let it plant down and we'll windmill the arms open into our warrior 2. Nice, releasing here a little bit. You can find that bend in the front knee. Beautiful. Stabilizing here, drawing in with the belly. The gaze is nice and intense out over those fingers. With our inhale, we'll straighten the right leg, let the left hip draw back behind us, and we'll start to come down into triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. Nice. And so if this feels like enough of a workout, you can hold triangle right here, working to draw in with the belly and to draw in between the rib cage. If you'd like to add on from here, you might take the right hand up off the floor and extend it straight out in front of you. Oh, tricky, other way, out overhead. Oh, amazing. Cues, you know? And then from here, maybe the left arm comes overhead as well, like you're holding a ball in between your hands. And then lift that left rib cage up towards the sky. Beautiful. So we're activating the core and hovering that triangle a little bit. Nice. And then if you wanted to add on, working the core a little bit further, you could take micro lifts, rising and lowering in the left rib cage. Beautiful. Taking 2 or 3 lifts if you'd like. And then when you're ready, right hand will come back down towards the floor, left hand extends back up to the sky. On an inhale, we're going to rise back into that warrior 2 variation, arms like a T, the front knees bend. Finding that nice deep breath. And then on an exhale, we'll windmill the hands down onto either side of the front foot. We'll step back, taking a vinyasa if you want it, or going right into downward dog. And as we make our way into downward dog, taking a few moments here to catch our breath, checking in. You might shake out the head if you need to pedal out the feet a little bit. We worked the legs on that last one too. And then from here, as you're ready, inhale, left leg extends up towards the sky. Working on the sways on the second side, we'll start to let that knee bend. We'll let the hip fall open a little bit. And then from here on an exhale, we'll draw left knee forward towards the left elbow. And we're going to tuck that knee up a little bit higher if you want, towards that armpit. Work the obliques, the side of the belly. From here, inhale, extend the leg back up towards the sky. And exhale, hug the knee in towards the nose. Rounding out here, upward lift in the low belly. Inhale, extend up towards the sky. And exhale, cross the knee over towards the opposite elbow. And then tuck it up towards that armpit. Beautiful. Inhale, leg towards the sky. Exhale, knee up towards the nose, rounding out again. And then from here, that foot places down between the hands. And this time we're going to rise up again, high lunge on the second side. That tailbone is tucking under, belly's pulling in as your right hip flexor drives forward. Arms are squeezing together again. We're nice and long in the side body, so we find a stretch here even as the belly works. With that nice engagement through our belly, we start to come forward. Inhaling, we'll hover the chest. Exhale, hands can reach back behind us. Take a big inhale to extend out through the fingers. Find that hover here, belly really squeezing in, legs squeezing in. Beautiful. Option to add those presses. We bend that front knee. We start to draw forward up onto the tiptoe of that right foot. Then maybe rising it up so right leg is parallel. And then from here, bending in the left knee, sitting down through that left hip until the right toes tap the floor. And then rising it back up. And see if you can take that 2 or 3 more times. Option to use blocks or props, whatever you might have nearby. Staying in the strength of your body, not forcing this to look like anything other than what it needs to feel good in your body. Beautiful. Next time we're down, we'll let those right toes come down onto the mat. We'll windmill open, warrior 2, side 2. Oh, we'll get all those hip hops out of the way. Squeezing in with the belly, gazing out over those front fingers, arms nice and active. From here, we'll inhale, lengthen left leg, right hip draws back, and we'll start to come into triangle on the second side. Nice. And so the engagement here is in the low belly, and then to keep that sway out of the spine, we engage in between the rib cage. And then Ashley here starts to pull up through the side body, through that rib cage, and then maybe extend that left arm out in front, out overhead. Maybe the right arm comes out overhead to hover. And there's that upward lift in the rib cage, option to add that lift and lower as you hover here. Nice. Maybe taking 2 or 3 lifts and lowers, working that oblique, the side of the belly. Nice. And then when you're ready, we'll come back down, meeting together in our triangle pose, left hand down, right fingers to the sky. And with an inhale, we'll rise up and settle back into that warrior 2. Taking a big inhale breath here, we'll exhale, windmill the hands down, taking that vinyasa or going right into downward dog. Nice. And then from here, we'll start to transition into some seated work. So you can step or float your way through into a seated position. And as we come into seated, you can let the legs come out nice and long. We'll inhale, reach the arms up. An option, exhale just for a moment, taking a little bit of a fold, releasing the legs, releasing the chin, the neck, gazing down. Beautiful. From here, we'll inhale, start to come back up. We're going to keep this positioning on the body, and we're going to bring blocks onto either side of us, coming into L-sit variations. This is a practice that builds strength in the lower belly, that upward lift that's so important in so many of our yoga postures. It also is a great prep if you're working on handstand or different inversions. This will really help with that press that people like to get in their headstand and their handstand, because it comes from that upward lift in the low belly and the ability to press against the hands. So blocks come onto either side of the body. We're pulling in with the belly. We start to stay broad if we can in the shoulders. And then from here, we're going to press against the blocks. And if you'd like, you can come down onto the floor after a few tries. We're going to start to lift up the hips, pressing into the heels. And see if we can slide the hips through the hands. Take a breath or two, and then come back down. And taking a few rounds here of those L-sit lifts, I'll do it to the side. We're going to press down into the hands, big inhale. Big exhale, letting go of that breath before we start. On an inhale, lift the hips up and through, gliding those heels on the mat. And then we'll exhale, come back down. And we're going to take 2 more here with your breath. When you're ready, rising it up, lifting the hips, gliding back. Beautiful. Exhale, we'll come down. And before we move on, there's the option here. 2 different things are happening here. We have blocks on one level and blocks on a different level. So you can bring the floor a little bit closer to the hands by propping yourself up a little bit more. And you'll notice when Louisa and Ashley sway through them, there's 2 ways to do this. You can keep the heels down the whole time, or as you come back through, option to add a little float in there and see if you can get the legs fully off the mat. So we'll take 1 more round and you can notice what's going on here. When you're ready with an inhale, you can start to rise up, lifting back. And then the exhale will come back through. Beautiful. We'll release the blocks and press off to the side. From here, we're going to work on Navasana boat pose with a few variations. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lengthen out through the arms, the chest is broad. And the way that I like to teach this is starting with the knees bent and the hands stay out the whole time, parallel to the floor. The low belly's pulling in. We're going to slide the feet in, draw the knees towards the chest, and lift up towards the tiptoes. And then from here, with the arms out, see if you can lift the right leg so that the shin is parallel to the floor. And then from there, the left leg lifts, shin parallel to the floor. And you can hold right here. This is an amazing boat pose. If you'd like, you can extend the legs out fully, nice and long. And we'll take 3 rounds of breath here. Boat pose, Navasana. Option to keep the knees bent again or option to take them long. And then when you're ready, we'll exhale, come down to the mat, feet land wide, arms can wrap around the shins, and we'll inhale, draw the chest through. And exhale, we'll tuck the chin round out. We'll just take that one more time. Inhale, pull the chest through, releasing the low back a little bit, and exhale to round out. And we're going to add on to our Navasana boat pose. So when you're ready, coming back up into boat pose, either straight legs or bent knee variation. And this next one's actually a great prep for building core strength for our crow posture, that arm balance with the knees on backs of arms. So from here, using the belly, squeezing in, see if you can draw your right knee in and tap it against the back of your right arm. It's like those sways, but sitting down. And then lengthen the right leg out and do the same with the left. Draw the knee in and tap it against the back of the arm. And then lengthen back out and take each side 2 or 3 more times, whatever feels best in your body, using the obliques, using the muscles of the belly. Beautiful. Keeping that breath really strong, really powerful. And then on your next exhale, we'll let the feet come back down towards the floor. Feet can open wide, hands around the shins again. We'll inhale, draw through, and exhale to round out. Taking that one more time, inhale, draw through, and exhale to round out. We're going to add on one more thing before we move on. We'll come back into boat, back into Navasana. I know, my friends here are deciding if we're still actually friends. And then when you're ready, instead of one knee at a time, can you take both the knees to the backs of the arms, tap them. And now you're in crow pose on your butt, and this is how hard our bellies are working to keep us up in crow. It's a big upward lift. Inhale, stretch the legs back out. And then exhale, see if you can tuck them back in. And see if you can get that one more time. And when you tuck in on this next one, hold 3 breaths. And really feel that lift in the belly. So in crow, there's not a whole lot of weight from the knees on the arms. We're actually pulling the weight up and off of the knees by using our bellies. Beautiful. Inhale, we'll bring the feet back down here. You can wrap arms around the shins as you pull your chest through. And exhale to round out. Again, one more time. Inhale, pull the chest through. Get that wave of the spine. Release the back. And exhale to round out. Beautiful. From here, we'll inhale, find a neutral spine. You can walk the feet back towards each other. And when you're ready, on an exhale, we'll just start to roll all the way down onto our back, starting to release here. So we've done a lot of work through the belly, a lot of work in the core, and we'll start to make our way all the way down, starting to slow down our practice a little bit. From here, we'll do a little bit of supine belly work, lying on our backs, and then we'll take it all the way down into our Shavasana. So from here, we're going to lift the legs straight up towards the sky like a candlestick variation, that legs up the wall position. Beautiful. Pressing hands down onto either side of the hips, the belly's really active, and we're going to start to lower the feet down towards the floor, getting them as close to the floor as we can without the low back lifting up. So if that's just up above the floor, that's great. If that's at an angle, that's great too. And you're going to find that position as you lower down just before your low back lifts, and we're going to hold there. See if you can get 3 to 5 breaths. Really using the belly, and this is the positioning of the core that we get when we do that handstand, that pulling inward. Beautiful. When you're ready, we'll bring those legs on an inhale all the way back up. And we exhale, hug the knees in towards the belly. Nice. And we're going to do that one more time. Legs come back up on an inhale. When you're ready, exhale, start to lower all the way back down. Feel that core engagement, really strong. Protect the low back, belly pulling in and not lowering the legs any further than they need to feel that strength in your belly. Beautiful. And then on the inhale, we'll bring the feet all the way back up. And exhale, hug them in. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. We're just going to release through the low back a little bit, release through the outer sides of the hips. We'll take the knees over to the right side, coming into our supine twist. An option here to find a self-assist, bringing the right hand on top of that thigh as you ground down, so that we're working the thighs in one direction, hips in one direction, as we work the chest open towards the other. And then we'll inhale to draw those knees up to center, still using the core muscles here to rise them up. And exhale, we'll let them fall over to the other side. And then one more time, we'll inhale, bring everything back to center, squeeze those legs in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug here. And then when you're ready, we'll reach the legs up towards the sky, coming back into that candlestick variation. And from here, just begin to wiggle the toes up towards the sky. We're going to wiggle them out, circling at the ankles. Then releasing the legs a little bit and shake the legs up and down. Shake them up and down a little bit, like you're just a kid, shaking your legs out, wiggling them out. And then we're going to reach the hands up too. We're going to wiggle out the fingers. We're going to shake out the hands. We're going to shake out the arms. So we're just going to shake everything up towards the sky. Release that tension. Release it. Let it go. Shake it really fast. Shake it really fast. Get it all out. Get it all out. Get it all out. And then on an exhale, we'll melt everything all the way down onto our mats. We'll come into that final rest position, Shavasana. And as you come into Shavasana, the eyes can close. Arms lengthen out onto either side of the body. If there's tension in your low back, which sometimes happens when we're working on core exercises because we forget to find that engagement in the belly, so if you're noticing that now, you can keep the knees bent and walk them open wide and then let the knees fall in towards each other. And so from here, as you come into Shavasana, just returning that awareness to the breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose, long, slow breath. And really using this time to regroup and to reconnect to your body and to your breath, allowing yourself to feel the benefits of the practice, to let them soak in. And so as we hold here in Shavasana, I'll do a few rounds of chants for us to help guide us through this relaxation. And then we'll wake back up and you can move out into the rest of your day with this fired up core, with this strength in the center of the body. And so as you're ready, really falling into that place of Shavasana, that comfortable resting pose. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamidachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamidachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate Om Purnamidam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamidachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And as you're ready, the breath begins to deepen, drawing the awareness back into the body, back into the breath, back into this moment. Feeling the support of the floor beneath you, the flow of the breath within you. Gently bringing movements back into the body, hands and feet, wrists and ankles. Taking any movements you'd like as you begin to wake up, and over the next few rounds of breath, we'll find our way back into a seated position with the eyes closed. In seated, we'll bring the hands together in front of the heart like a prayer. This is called Anjali Mudra. We bow the head, the eyes are closed. Perhaps setting an intention for the rest of your day as you move off your mat out from this practice, and noticing what it is you can take with you from this time together out into the rest of your world. Recognizing that the reason why we practice the movements on our mats, the asanas of the yoga practice, aren't to do the most incredible version of back bend or to take really fancy pictures, but it is instead to allow ourselves to feel good in our bodies, to have some fun, and to allow ourselves to go out into the world and be nice to those around us. Recognizing that when we feel good in our bodies, we're better able to help those around us feel good too. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste.